Okay, on the picture is Mr. Jacques Benveniste. This scientist discovered the memory of the water, that the water has memory, and he showed it without any doubt with multiple techniques. This is in the late 80s, and so at the time he was published in some reviews, scientific and stuffs, and then the Church of Materialistic Science jumped on this guy, destroyed his career. He found himself in as place where to work, as a laboratory, into a bunch of containers. This was his laboratory in some backyard of some hospital somewhere. One of the most important scientific of this last century. What happened is incredible. The zombie don't see it, but what happened is incredible. It happened in 2014. In 2014, the French TV, a national channel of science, showed a documentary which showed the laboratory of Jacques Benveniste and the team now, which is continuing his work. And the documentary showed in details experiences about the memory of the water. What has been shown into this documentary destroys all the dogma, all the structure of the current mainstream science of the Church of Materialistic Science. It was totally destroyed in 1 hour in national TV, and it didn't make, I think, more wave than this. The society is so into zombie state. I'm talking about the scientific people, about people who think a little bit. For the general mass, I don't have any hope. So I wondered how those people, how this documentary didn't shake all the structure of this reality. It did for me. I watched it 3 times the same day in the night. I couldn't believe my eyes that they show this on national TV. I put the link down under. So this materialistic era science, false science that they put us in by kicking out anything against the materialistic view of the science, which is that this matter moving is making everything. You know, this DNA splitting is following laws of matter, like a domino falling into place. You know, what a joke. So all this era that has been constructed, when the same system shows in his own media something that contradicts everything that has been said for more than 100 years, the zombies doesn't move, doesn't blink an eye, and this tells a lot about the level of this society. When it comes back to his experience, there is a Nobel Prize which has been into the false science, which is now taking back the real science of Jacques Benveniste. He has nothing to lose because he's retired. He did everything, you know. It's the guy who supposedly discovered the virus, the so-called virus of the AIDS. So this guy supposedly discovered the virus which is causing the AIDS, which is bullshit. The AIDS is a bunch of syndrome and you may detect in any disease, you may detect a virus. The virus could be just a symptom, a marker that cells are dying and leaving this kind of structure behind them. So this guy was into falsehood, and he got a Nobel Prize for his falsehood, and now he's taking back the real science. The documentary in itself shows that when you put DNA into water, you can record a magnetic signature with an antenna, and then you dilute this water so many times that there is no matter inside of it, and the water will keep emitting this signature, which you can record, which is the same as the first one when there was DNA inside of the DNA that they are using it for the experiment. So after they diluted many times, mathematically there is nothing in the water, the electromagnetic signal is still there, you know. And Jacques Benveniste shows that this dilution, you take this water and you put it on if you have something that make allergies or something to some tissues, you dilute this water that many times and the water still have this effect on the tissues. The reaction of the biology will be like if the component that makes the allergy is still there, for example. So this is the memory of the water. Yeah, so this diluted water still have the signature. They recorded it with the software, like you record some sound. They recorded this electromagnetic sound for some minutes, and then they sent this file that they did, this recording of this electromagnetic stuff, to another university and another country, Italy in this case. So from France, they sent the file to another university. The university has the files. They take another water and they play this recording on the water, like they do the other direction. And this water has some proteins in it or something. So when they play this recording, the water will make DNA manifest inside the original DNA. They take the DNA, they do this DNA test, and it is exactly the same, the one that the whole experience started with. It is one of the most incredible stuff I have seen in my life. They start to try to make theories about it, you know, but still they are trapped into this materialistic, like the information in the water and stuff, and like it's there, like the matter, the forms of the matter is making the information or something. But in this case we had the small files, a small recording traveling to another university, and university recreate the whole DNA. So in my way, this is me speaking, there is no way there is the information of the DNA, all of it, in this small file. Think a little bit. So where this DNA information came from? You know, it is the DNA information is in the immaterial world. It has its own. It is in another dimension, another informational field. And with this file that they played on the water, they kind of made this water kind of enter in contact with the information of that DNA, specific DNA, like make the water resonate with it and make this life appear in the water. It is that crazy. I am talking out of the documentary. This is my explanation, okay? But when you watch the documentary, you will see exactly and listen what they say themselves as scientific. The consequences of this are huge, of course. You can treat with information, so you play some information to the water, and the people could have this information that healed them. You record something from a disease, and you just flip the whole signal, like you create a counter signal of it, a counter information, and it becomes the cure. What about the species that disappeared? Is their DNA still around in the informational field? What if you have a little bit of DNA, you record the signal and you play it on the water? Will it make the whole DNA back of a disappeared DNA, because you can contact with the morphic field of it? Think about this. What if somebody sent this information of this DNA, for example, a virus? They did it with a virus in the experiment. What if the one has this recording of a dangerous disease and send it in the electrical grid, emitted in the cables of the city's electrical grid, or from antennas on a bench of humanity on a city or something? The flu, all these diseases appearing. Think a little bit. Okay, think about the consequences of this. So watch this very important piece of documentary. One of the most important stuff I have on my hard drive, and try to go beyond the understanding of those scientific, try to think a little bit more, because they are still stuck into just watching into their nose, and very, very difficult for the people to think. Okay, so I will put the link down. So it is Mr. Jacques Benveniste, a very great person. I dedicate this video to this kind of real scientists, real people which they don't have dogma. They are not working for a church. If there is memory of water and it's not material, it's memory of water, and also it's blatant in our eyes. We see our cells splitting, DNA splitting. It doesn't obey the law of matter. It's not falling in dominoes. Wake up, zombies. Wake up, zombie scientists. This is impossible. Life is the opposite of the entropy. It's the opposite of chaos. It's infinite order of this huge quantity of DNA structures and everything. It cannot be materialistic event, And if it was materialistic, how about all this pollution, electromagnetic? How life continues in this condition? Continues because it's emitted from another fields. This is why you can keep your structure or your body. This is how two cells build a baby from two cells, a baby in space. Who is measuring the distance? How those cells know where is every cell? Who is measuring the distance between the eyes of the baby? Between his fingers, between every little detail, because the cells are following information which are in the immaterial to make a space construction. This is life. This is science. So open your minds, watch this documentary, watch it multiple times, and go beyond the understanding, a small understanding of this zombie humanity, and yes, you will see how much this universe is open, how much it is big and beautiful. Okay, that's it for today. I say to you, thank you for listening, and I'm gonna post this back home.